So welcome to this 5-day WhatsApp class on health and immunity boosting the Ayurveda way. I'll be your guide, Dr. Shivjaya Amonkar, throughout this 5-day session, and it will be a enlightening session, health enlightening session. It will be a two-way participation. Yes, you will be given activities as well, which you need to complete, and yes, it will be like a step-by-step guide towards health. We will kickstart your journey. We will make you realize what is happening in your own life, in your own health, and we will sail you through this journey successfully. Okay, so let me introduce myself. I am Dr. Shivjaya Amonkar. I have done my BHMS, after which I have done my post-graduation graduation diploma in clinical research management in Mumbai. Following which, I was working as a medical writer for a period of about 2 years. Medical writing and statistics, it was divided job description, and this is where I realized actually how the pharma market works, how the clinical trial works, and how the results are calculated, uh, how they are manipulated, how those statistical formulas applied. So it is a bit of jungle out there. So yes, that was my journey medical writing. After which I got married, I came back to Goa. I initially assisted my husband. He's an Ayurvedic doctor, so this was my revelation time. I got acquainted with Ayurvedic knowledge, and I understood how immense and great it is. It is a huge ocean of knowledge. You know, your whole lifetime is not enough to understand what Ayurveda is, and it is so great. Um, you will understand in this WhatsApp class how what the greatness of it. Okay, so yeah, a continuous a continuous endeavor for gaining more knowledge is there. So I did my diet, nutrition, and immunity through Ayurveda from National Institute of Ayurveda, Jaipur. This course was recently conducted. So then I am also a trainer in mother and child health care. This training was done from Directorate of Health Service Goa, and also certified skin disease uh, management, a doctor for it, and certified yoga trainer. This is a very active part because I am actively conducting yoga session. I was actively conducting yoga session until this lockdown, and now uh, there is a bit of online presence, but more of antenatal yoga right currently. Okay, so this was a bit of me, and let's go to the. Okay, this is the health talk that we have conducted. This was the last, just before the lockdown. We had celebrated the Women's Day, and we had conducted a talk on women's health improvement. So this is just a picture, and this is my clinic. This is my yoga studio where we have a lot of yoga session. We are very active in it, uh, you know, creating health awareness through yoga as well. So, coming to this topic of today, why this WhatsApp class? Okay, everybody knows lifestyle disease is a big major concern right now. Diabetes, cholesterol, cardiovascular diseases, female hormone related disease, PCOD is so common right now. It is common as well as a big concern in females who are not yet conceived, because it is a major factor for causing infertility as well. Menstrual complaints, obesity, all these things are lifestyle related. you know Everybody knows that the reason why they are in that position is because they didn't have a proper lifestyle. But how do you define a proper lifestyle? What are the things that you should be doing? What a proper lifestyle should comprise of? Okay, this awareness is not there. There is a lack of knowledge, lack of awareness as to how you're supposed to conduct your life to maintain health. Okay, so we thought of let's start our education series. All must be knowing Raj Ayurveda and Homeopathic Education Series we have conducted. We have started this education series to help create awareness. Simple things, uh, simple things can be changed in your life. Simple diet restrictions, simple exercises, simple conduct regimen. These things can be changed to enhance your health. Okay, so we have started this education series. We will continue putting our efforts uh, in creating health awareness in our further classes as well. Hope you will be in those too. If you are interested, of course, if I create that much interest in the class. So coming back, lack of awareness as to how you're supposed to conduct yourself to maintain the health. Everybody is born healthy, but how do you maintain that health? Okay, how do you stop yourself from going towards that lane of diseases? Okay, this is the main motivation, this is the aim of this class. Okay, uh, uh, Ayurveda, it is I told you, a science which is more than 2000 years old, but the principles of which still stands true even to this day. So so whatever has been written down, whatever may it be your sleep, may it be your diet, may it be your exercise. Okay, everything still holds true today, it can be still applied today. Okay, for example, even the very own epidemics, how they are caused, this corona epidemics, how, what are the things, what are the things a person should be doing during epidemics, even these things have been mentioned 1000 years ago. Okay, so you can follow these guidelines without questioning it. Okay, Ayurveda, so it is divided into Swasthasya and Aturasya. So Swasthasya basically is prevention of health of the healthy. So this is what I was talking about, what you're supposed to do to maintain your health. Okay, what are the things, many people basically don't know what they are doing wrong and how they're falling prey to diseases. So Swasthasya is that section which basically tells you what you're supposed to do to maintain your health, to keep your health. Okay, Aturasya, on the other hand, is cure of the disease of the disease. So this is a part where the doctor or the Vaidya comes into play. Your medicine, your treatment, your diagnosis, all these things fall under Aturasya. So we will not be discussing about that because it is an expertise area. We will be just talking about Swasthasya, that is maintaining of health of the healthy. Okay, maintenance of health. So how, what are the things that you're supposed to do for maintenance of health? It comprises of dinacharya, that is code of conduct for the day. What are the things that you're supposed to do throughout, from early morning waking up till you go to sleep on time? All the things that you're supposed to do fall under the section of dinacharya. Ritucharya is code of conduct for the season. So what are the things that you're supposed to do and not do as the season changes? Okay, so like in a year there are different seasons. Every season brings different effects on the climate, different effects on the body. So it is mandatory that you change your lifestyle according to these seasons as well. So what are these changes? These are mentioned in Ritucharya. Okay, understanding Prakriti and following its rules. So Prakriti is your body type. I will be explaining the three dosha theories in today's class and how these three doshas um, are present in your body to make a constitution, to make your body type. So each person is different because each person has different constitution. So this is what Prakriti understanding is. So according to your Prakriti, you are supposed to behave or conduct your body, conduct yourself. So this is understanding Prakriti and following its rules. Understanding food, that is understanding ahar. This is the basic thing, but most neglected. Understanding your food is what you're supposed to eat according to your prakriti, according to your season, according to your age, and so this is basically what understanding food comprises of. Sleep, that is ratri charya. Of course, it starts after sunset till the next day morning. So sleep is Ratri Charya. What are the things that you're supposed to do from sunset to sunrise the next morning? Okay. So all these things, they have a particular code of conduct. They have particular guidelines. Okay. And only if you are maintaining these, you will maintain your health. Of course, there are few days where there is a little bit of change, but these days are very few. They are exceptions. They should not become habitual, or they should not become your routine. Your routine should be what is told by by these guidelines. Okay. So we have seen what maintenance, what comprises of this. So what we are going to explain uh, in this 5-day WhatsApp class is your diet, your nidra, that is your diet, ahar, your nidra, sleep, and we have code of conduct of your behavior, and your code of conduct for the day and code of conduct for the season. So that comes under Vihar. Okay. Why we have put immunity in this? Because it is obvious, if you are maintaining your health means you are staying away from diseases, which means you are building your immunity to stay away from your disease. Your health is good enough, your immunity is good enough that you can stay away from disease, not just pathological causes like viral disease or some bacterial disease. Not just that, even your lifestyle disease, that is diabetes, cholesterol. These don't have viruses and bacteria involved in it, but still you can simply follow these guidelines and stay away from all these kinds of diseases as well. Okay. This is why we told, once you are looking after your health, automatically means your immunity is good and you are going to stay away from diseases. Okay, so we are going to talk only about these three things in this WhatsApp class. Now you are going to say that why this WhatsApp class? I'm giving so much of information for just 99 rupees, and is it going to be worth? How much are you going to teach? But I will that, see, we have given it for 99 rupees. Enjoy it. Make the maximum benefit out of it. Y'all are the lucky and the wise ones to enroll yourself first, because obviously later on things are going to change. I cannot at least promise you that it's going to stay the same. Okay, so enjoy this 5 days. Take in the information, make changes in your life, make changes in your lifestyle towards good health. Okay, this is what my message is. So let's go to the to our next slide, Ayurveda definition for health. So the definition of health in Ayurveda differs from the WHO definition for health, that is World Health Organization's definition of health, because there are a lot of more criterias, more consideration in Ayurveda's definition. Now let's see what these are. Okay, balance in dosha, that is vata, pitta, and kapha. I will be explaining to you what these things mean. For now, just go through the definition. Balance in dosha, that is vata, pitta, and kapha. Balance in agni, that is balance in your digestive fires. Balance in dhatu, that means your 7 types of dhatu. There are 7 types of dhatu, that is tissues. What your body is, your physical body is made up of. So balance in all these tissues have to be there. Malakriya, proper excretory function. So all kinds of excretory function have to be properly maintained. Prasanna Atma, that is peaceful soul. Prasanna Indriya, all your senses should be in harmony. So your all these five senses, including your tactile, including your pressure, including your thermal senses, all these senses have to be in harmony. Prasanna man, of course, pleasant mind. So these are the criteria wherein Ayurveda can define a healthy person. um, okay. Mm, so okay, so this is the slide where I have given you an example. What was the need of to explain these concepts are, see, it is not just for this 5-day WhatsApp class. It is for all the purposes. Wherever you're going to read an article about Ayurveda, wherever you're going to read a book about Ayurveda, or any other health related books where there is a mention of these words, our goal is that you should even understand what these terms mean, okay? Because the Ayurvedic terms are very much different from the modern terms. So we felt the need of first to make you understand what these terms are, so that you can understand, not just now, even later, whenever you're going to refer some things, what these things mean in that article, so that you're in a better position to understand and to get knowledge from that article. Okay. Article, or your, or any book, or whatever your media is. Okay. So the goal of this purpose, the purpose of this, so the purpose of this program is to basically fulfill your curiosity also. That is, it is a human tendency. If you know the reason behind doing something, you are in a better position to do it. Like, if somebody just says that, okay, aapko, if you cannot go outside outside at night, after 7. Now if you know what is the reason behind not allowing you to go outside after 7, you will be in a better position to take that decision. Okay, I don't have to go. So this is like a simplest example I could give you. So yeah, human curiosity is, it works like that. If you know the reason, you are in a better position to make the decision. So once you know the reason why you're not supposed to do certain things for your health, then you are in a better position to like make a decision. Okay, I have to stay away from that thing because it will cause this in me. Okay, so this is the reason uh, why we are explaining every term, every concept to you, so that you understand better and you are in a better position to make the decision. For example, this is an example of a child which was in my clinic. The moment he entered, he was a very cute, fat, chubby child, looked very healthy, but as I was taking his case, as his mother was giving me that case, the case was about a recurrent respiratory problem. So the child had a this respiratory problem since a long many years. Had a Was on antibiotics and a lot of other medicines as well. Uh, but then I took this history, clinical history. Then I went to his diet history. The mother told that the child is very fond of sweets. He eats sweets after every meal. He needs, if there is nothing, he will at least need a banana. He will eat bananas every day. Night also, sometimes if he doesn't eat anything, then we give him banana and he fills his tummy with that and he goes to sleep. He loves to play in the rain. He loves to play. If there's no rain, he goes in the bathroom. He's always playing in the water. And I was just listening to him. I'm like, why? Obviously, because the mother was ignorant about all these things, and for me, it was very shocking. Like, why, why this lifestyle? and you are blaming that you are blaming his immunity, that he is getting recurrent respiratory illness. She kept on saying that बहुत बुरी है इसकी immunity, he keeps on getting falling sick every now and then. Now, obviously, if you had to, if you are in a position, if you know, if you had the knowledge, then you, if you had the knowledge of the prakriti of the child, if you knew that certain diet, certain kapha vardhak diet, means some there are few diets which increases production of phlegm, which increases the production of mucus in the body. If you knew that there are these kinds of there is a sect of food items that do this to the body, then you probably will not give this to your child. Okay, so basically, it was not his the respiratory problem was not related to his immunity. It was not viral or it was not bacterial. It was his lifestyle. He was a he was a child of a kapha prakriti, and he was leading a lifestyle where everything was increasing his kapha, his food, his playing habits, his sleeping habits. He was a huge sleeper. He used to sleep during the day, then eating food items at the wrong time, eating bananas at night, eating fruits at night on empty stomach. So, and then not eating any solid food. So just going to sleep with that banana in his tummy. Obviously, he will produce more mucus. So, what do you think is this whole condition was uh, was the child required to be exposed to that much of antibiotics that he's been taking from so many years? Now, this is a decision every parent has to make, so the purpose of this program is also, in had the parent knew, had the parent the knowledge of the ahar, the vihar, that is the code of conduct, the sleep habits, then probably she would have uh, at least managed to reduce the frequency of this respiratory illness. Okay, obviously after some changes in his lifestyle and his diet and some basic medicines, he was okay. The child was better in just a few days. Okay, and then there was follow-ups, and his episodes of this respiratory illness came down drastically. Okay, so this was a little example how I wanted to make you understand that knowledge, basic knowledge is required. You can put a stop to the disease or curb disease at basic level, at home level. Just changing your food, just changing your lifestyle. These will help you a lot in making simple decisions, like understanding basically why things are occurring in the body. So we are going towards more technical terms of Ayurveda now. Okay. Um, there is a saying in Ayurveda, "Yatha pinde tatha brahmande." So whatever governs or are present in a body is also present in the entire universe. The same thing that governs a body governs the entire universe. Okay. So what these are? Everybody must have heard about Vata, Pitta, and Kapha dosha. And also, everybody must have heard about Pancha Mahabhuta. I think at least our generation must have heard first time about Pancha Mahabhuta in Shaktiman, where all the Pancha Mahabhutas come to make that superhero Shaktiman. But it is somewhat the same. All the Mahabhuta comes together to make super human, no, what do you call it? Superhero. But yes, everybody is a superhero, and everybody is made up of the same things that is present in the entire universe as well. Okay. So Pancha Mahabhuta theory is basically the five elements that are present in the universe, that is air, space, fire, water, and earth. Okay, so these elements come together in a unique combination to form three doshas, that is Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. Okay, Vata is it is a dosha that is formed predominantly by air and space. Pitta is a dosha that is formed predominantly by fire. There is some water also. Kapha dosha is a dosha that is predominantly formed by the elements of water and earth. Okay. Now we are going to go towards better explanation of what these doshas are. So the first dosha that we will be talking about is Vata dosha. Vata dosha, I told you, it is predominantly made up of the air and the space element. Okay, and likewise, like the properties of air and space, Vata dosha is mainly the properties of these doshas are movement. There is a lot of movement. There is a lot of instability. There is dryness, there is emptiness, lightness. There is all these things are the properties of vata dosha. So it basically brings movement, dryness and lightness in wherever it is present. So that is the property of this dosha. So all so the in our body, in a human body, where this dosha is present, what systems or what are the functions that vata dosha governs. These are mainly the nerve impulse. So all the movements, wherever there are movements taking place, nerve impulse, so from the brain to the organ of action, then elimination process, your excretory process, that is your not excretory but elimination of urine, elimination of stools, then childbirth, delivery of the child. These are elimination process. They are governed by vata dosha. Breathing, so the movement of air from the external environment to our lungs, from the lungs to external environment. These is basically movement of your muscles, even your emotions. That is your the movement of the movement of the emotion which takes place in your mind to the organ of expression is also controlled by vata. Blinking of the eye is controlled vata. Okay, so I have mentioned case studies. So Vata dosha mainly are in clinical experience. Um, Vata dosha people are mainly who have a lot of constipation problem. That is the the dryness part of it. Then the rheumatoid complaints, the cramps, gas problem. Loss of these elimination processes. All these things come under Vata. So Vata can be hyper. It can be the vitiation, means the deviation of Vata could be both sides. It could be more, it could be less also. So the manifestation of it comes accordingly. Next dosha is Pitta dosha. The Pitta dosha is mainly the fire element, and likewise it is very sharp, it is warm, and it is penetrating, like the properties of fire. And same thing like the fire, it brings the process of burning, it brings the process of transformation. Uh, you know, Pitta dosha is also the same thing. It brings transformation, it brings conversion, metabolism. All these things come under Pitta dosha. Okay. In body, what are the systems where Pitta dosha governs? Basically, it is digestion. So again, conversion of the food into nutrients to be assimilated by your body is governed by Pitta dosha. Metabolism, again, burning of the calories, burning of this food to produce energy, conversion. This is brought about by Pitta dosha. Body temperature, skin color, intelligence, understanding. These are all governed by Pitta dosha. In So when the pitta dosha is vitiated in the body, means when the pitta dosha goes abnormal in the body, there are mainly complaints of digestion, acidity, burning sensation. And then again, if that pitta goes up to the skin level, it there is lot of rash, urticaria. is actually it is a pitta problem. So I will not go into details how it is caused, but please, in case if you are a regular, if you get urticaria regularly, then please get yourself checked by an Ayurvedic doctor, to get yourself assessed how your pitta dosha gets abnormal, means how it gets vitiated every now and then. Okay. um, Kapha dosha. Kapha dosha is uh, the mainly made up of water and earth element, and again likewise both these things are heavy, they are stable, they are water is cooling. So the kapha dosha also has properties of cooling. It is moist, it is stable, it is heavy. So in the body, uh, the systems or the areas where it governs, the kapha dosha governs, are basically providing material for physical structure, for body, for growth, physical growth, and body resistance. That is, strength of the body, giving strength and growth to the body is the function of kapha dosha. Lubrication of joints, like I told you, it is moist. It uh, uh, it is the one that produces mucus, phlegm. So these are the dosha where it is governing, are responsible for lubricating the joints, moisture to the skin, fill spaces in the body, the what you call that interarticular bursa. There is a soft pad which is like a mucousy pad which is there between two joints. So this is where kapha dosha is governing. Provide strength, vigor, and stability to the body. Also responsible for immunity. So kapha dosha is the one which basically looks after the growth of the body and providing strength to the body. So hence it is attributed to immunity as well. Kapha, when kapha is out of balance, heavy emotions of lethargy and okay. So this is either emotional part of kapha dosha. Like I told you, how pitta dosha, they are better in understanding and intelligence. Like that, kapha dosha are these are sweet people. They are more emotional people. Um, but if it gets out of balance, uh, they go into depression and lethargy kind of state. Okay, that is because of the heaviness that is present out of the earth and water element. In case study, mainly kapha dosha is the one that is having repeated respiratory complaints. Um, there is lots of production of mucus, sinusitis. These are these are the ones that are predominantly kapha dosha. Okay, so I hope I gave you a little bit of idea of what these doshas are. They are just a unique combination of all the panchabhuta that are present in the universe, and they come to form these unique doshas, this unique combination which gives the property of certain properties to that body, or to whatever it is governing, whatever it is controlling. Okay. The next, this was after balance. If you remember the definition of health, after balance of dosha, there was balancing dhatu. What are dhatu? Dhatu is basically the tissues. What we have studied in our 10th and 12th in our body. In the body structure class, I don't remember the name of the lesson, but yeah, basically the tissues of the body, that is all the muscles, the bones, all the systems, the skeletal system, the muscles, the muscular system, the nervous system. So these are having a unique, these have unique name in Ayurveda. So what are these? So for a better understanding, because these terms will be referred in our further classes, you shouldn't get confused. So a little bit of explanation. Rasa dhatu is basically the body fluids, the plasma. Rakta dhatu is the blood. Mamsa dhatu is the muscular tissue. So the all muscular system of the body. Meda dhatu is adipose tissue. So all the fat tissue of the body, it comes under Meda dhatu. Asti dhatu is the bony tissue. So the skeletal system is Asti dhatu. Majja dhatu is bone marrow and nervous tissue. So bone marrow and nervous tissues are clubbed under Majja dhatu. This is a little different from the modern aspect where bone marrow is part of some other system. But doesn't matter. Just remember, bone marrow and nervous tissue are a part of Majja dhatu. And Shukra dhatu, both the regenerative tissues, that is the reproductive tissues of male and female, come under Shukra dhatu. Now there is one more concept of ojas in this. Ojas is the essence of all the dhatus. It is like if all the dhatus are the production of all the dhatus, production and maintenance of all the dhatus are taking place properly, then your ojas will be formed of good quality. Your ojas will be a healthy one. Okay, so ojas can be related to the body strength. It is the vital force of the body. You can also say it is the immunity of the body. It is what that makes the body resilient. It is what that makes the body so strong and going on. It keeps the body going, kind of thing. So it is the vital force of the body. So this is basically dhatus is a simple thing to understand. They are the tissues of the body. What your physical body is made up of. Okay. Uh, Malakriya. Malakriya is basically the excretory function. Now there are a lot of in Ayurveda there are a lot of different kinds of mala produced. Every dhatu has their own mala, own excretory product. But for a simple understanding, we are going to look after only three excretions which everybody knows, and these three excretions are basically dietary excretions. They are ahar mala. They are formed due to our diet. So what are they? Stools, uh, urine, and sweat. So these everybody knows about this. So the proper elimination of these three excretory products have to be present. Only then there is then this is one of the criteria to fulfill a healthy body. So okay, I hope I have been able to make you understand some simple terms here today. Just a basic concept. Today's class was just an introduction to all these concepts. We will be we will be ending the lecture here, not the lecture, the class here, and the today's activity for you. I told you this is a two-way participation. You got to participate. You got to work, do your homework as well. Now this homework will be for yourself, to improve yourself, to know yourself better. So please do this. I have okay, what you're supposed to do, note down your diet. So in diet you have to note down all the things from morning. Even if you're drinking water in the morning, you have a habit of having tea early in the morning because you have constipation, you cannot pass your to the toilet until you have had that morning tea or hot water. Even mention breakfast, brunch, lunch, snacks, dinner. Even if you're taking any desserts after dinner, fruit intake when you're taking fruit. So basically whatever you eat, even if it is a small candy that you put in your mouth, just note it down. Okay, because we are going to tell you how it is wrong and what corrections you're supposed to make in it. Now this is what you can do this for yourself. You can do this for your family members as well. If there is someone you want to take care, if there are some mothers who are listening to this and they want to take better care of their child, they want to take better care of their husbands or themselves, so you can do this activity for each of them. Or you can start with yourself first and then maybe slowly move on to the other members. So diet, time of consumption, yeah, what time you have to consume. So I have attached a word sheet over here. You can just click it, download it, and fill the form. So diet, sleep, and thoughts. Mm, Sleep, obviously, what time you go to sleep, the quality of sleep, how much time, how many hours you have slept, what time you woke up in the morning. This is in the sleep. Thoughts, this is a little tricky, but it is important for us to. We don't want to know it. It is important for you to know your thoughts, how your thinking process goes throughout the day. So if you have felt sadness, if you felt jealousy, anger, sympathy, fear, charity, if you feel like helping someone, if you feel if you feel helpless, you feel hopeless, whatever it is, please note it down. You can keep these things, this points to yourself. You don't need to share it with us. You don't need to share it with anyone in your family or anyone. This is exclusively your information for you to improve, to understand what mistakes you're making, and then to make improvements on it. So we need an information of about 2 to 3 days, information on these 3 points, so that whenever when we are doing the ahar class, we want you to look back at this information and see where you're going wrong and what you can correct. When we are doing the sleep class, the same thing. When you are doing the vihar class, same thing. So we just want you to know where you're going wrong and where you have to make corrections. Okay, this is your day one activity. Please do it. uh, it is for you, it is for your health, and I'm expecting you to follow it properly. Okay, I will be sending the WhatsApp. So I will be sending the link if you want to just download the format of jotting down to make your work easy. I will just be putting it up in the WhatsApp group. You can take a printout and then you can start filling it. Okay. So with this, we come to the end of day one session. I hope there were some new things that you learned today. It will help you not just in the class. Again, I'm telling you, it will help in everything that you read about health. Okay. We'll wind up for today. Tomorrow is a very interesting class, that is Prakriti Parikshan. So you all will be knowing how to assess your body type. You will know how to um, uh, assess your own constitution. You know what kind of person you are, a vata person, you are a pitta person, or a kapha person. So accordingly you will understand what is wrong with you. I mean, not what is wrong with you, what could be wrong with you, what are the diseases you are prone to, what are the emotional things you are prone to. So how, basically you will understand your own self better. And it is nothing right or wrong, it is just yourself. So how do you do it, how you make these assessments is the Prakriti class. um, the link will be shared with you, and hope you will enjoy that session as well. Okay. So it is, thank you, and good, have a good day for